presentation, but just want to say good morning. I guess it's still morning to our attendees. Hope you guys had a great first half of the session. It was really informative. I thought I had an opportunity to kind of listen to the panelists, and again, didn't get a chance to listen to the second part, but I'll go back and listen to that. But thanks again for joining us today. Again, my name is Darren Sharp. I work in the Information Systems Division. Just want to again welcome you to the 2021 MLGW Virtual Procurement Fair. Today is October 1st, the first day of breast cancer awareness. So you can see from my background, I'm pretty passionate about breast care awareness, loss of sister breast care awareness. So I'm always, making sure that people are aware of breast cancer. I think it's pretty important. But today I really want to talk about a little bit about information systems, kind of our information services division, what we do, and then also some of the opportunities, procurement opportunities that we have in our division. So a little bit about us. Of course, we're led by Lachelle Vaughn. Lachelle Vaughn, she's our Chief Information Officer. She's really focused on our IS and IT goals, making sure our strategies are set for the year. Her big focus is really making sure that we're improving our customers' experience, whether it's internal or external, making sure that we're improving those customer experiences through technology solutions. We realize that the technology that we have enables our business units to actually do their jobs better, make them more effective, make them more efficient in doing their job. So that's what she's focused on, and as well as resource management. John Layman. John Layman is the manager of our enterprise resource planning tool planning group. His group is really focused on our Oracle application development, HR modules and GL modules, receivables, our financing, payables, reporting. A lot of the Oracle modules we actually brought on board, with the exception of some of the HR modules, we actually brought them on board in 2017. So we've been there, perfecting how we use Oracle, making sure that our end users are more efficient. B2G now, Tamara Pate, who's actually coordinated this entire effort, our supply diversity coordinator, she does a lot with reporting, our supply diversity spend, making sure the compliance is there. When she set a goal, one of her big things is making sure, how do I make sure that people are compliant? Well, John's team, they actually implemented the B2G Now application to streamline those processes or automate those processes for her to get access to that data and actually report that data and actually make sure that all our vendors are compliant in making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as compliance. Mike Falk, he's the manager of our information systems area. Really, his group is really focused on customer information systems, our billing systems, payments, service orders, mobile dispatch, smart meter. Smart meter is really a big part of what we do now, getting access to that data. And now we got access to that data. Now we can use tools to actually report and provide information to customers that's actionable, that customers can actually use. My Account is the app that's on MLGW.com, or it's an app you can put on your smartphone, pay bills. You can look at your usage, those kind of things using the the My Account app. Doug Duncan, he's the manager of our data security and compliance area. He's focused on identity management and access management, data security guidelines, administration, record retention, audits. So he's really focused on who has access to the data, and then what are they actually doing with it, and making sure that they have the right controls in place to do that. Cynthia Jones, she's the manager of our client services organization. She's focused on our stakeholders, making sure the other areas she's focused a lot with our executive stakeholders, understanding what their needs are, so that we can definitely align to their needs and making sure we're providing them with the right tools, the right technology to meet their needs. And then finally, Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks is the manager of our information technology group. His group is really focused on our infrastructure, our networking infrastructure, our hardware, switches, routers, desktops, the types of laptops that we have, operating systems. We just recently implemented Microsoft 365, which was huge for us. His team was definitely involved in that, in implementing that. So who do we serve? One of the most important customers is our external customers. I talked about earlier, our My Account application. Customers really like using that. Now that we have access to that data, we want to provide that information through our tools like My Account. So every time we get that opportunity, we're adding that functionality to our My Account applications. Contracts and procurement, we provide applications so contracts can actually manage all their contracts, because they have a lot of contracts. Procurement, so that we can get the right supplies at the right time. So they use applications, our Oracle application platform, to manage those operations. Constructions, people that work in the field, they're using our applications to actually manage data, get access to data, so that they can and then update that data while they're out in the field. Because now our workforce is now more distributed across the city. We've got to make sure that they have the right data. Engineering, they use a lot of our drafting tools, our GIS applications, to manage their work on a daily basis. Our legal department, we have tools and applications, third-party tools that they use in order to manage their cases. Finance, of course, finance is very, very important. Our budgeting systems, our account management systems are very, very important to make sure that we're aware of all of our numbers. Human resources, of course, resource management is really, really important. That was one of the first modules that we implemented with Oracle, and we continue to upgrade and improve those modules as well. And of course, customer service. Mike Falk's team is focused on those systems, those customer information systems, provide our customer service reps with the right information so that they can serve our customers better. One of the contracts, I want to talk about a little bit about some of the opportunities that we have. One of the major contracts that we have is our professional services contracts. That's one of the contracts or programs that I manage, and it's really a contract that's utilized to provide supplemental professional service staffing, as well as turnkey delivery applications to MLGW. We've been using it since the 1980s. So it's a very, very, very important tool that we can use to actually gain access to development resources, programmer resources, project managers, business analysts, those kind of things. So over here, what I've got here at the bottom, it says skills and experience. So these are some of the skills that we actually procure through this particular contract. So we have resources that have these skills, from technical writing to programming languages. So we really utilize this tool to really bring on board the right resources at the right time, because we're constantly updating our systems, our networks. So we need the right resources with the latest and greatest of these skills. So with that being the case, so what kind of projects have we been actually delivering with the professional services contract? So this year we just upgraded our Oracle to 12.2, which was a huge upgrade for us. The IVR, we've replaced our current IVR application. We've got single sign-on. We've been do a lot with NERC, our NERC compliance. So it's several products and applications we've actually delivered through our professional services contract. And over to the right over here is really one of the things that our team is responsible for, is this managing the entire life cycle of our professional services contract from sourcing. We do a lot of interacting with the vendors, making sure that they understand kind of what we need. So when a manager will come to me, so we act as that liaison between our internal supervisors as well as the vendor. So making sure that they understand the right requirements, what we actually need. So building those relationships, and then actually working with them with the onboarding and offboarding of a resource, making sure that the contract is being compliant. So we do a lot of tracking, we do a lot of service level tracking, as well as vendor evaluation. One of the things that we do every year is I work with our supervisors and make sure that they give me feedback on how they think our vendors are doing. So that actually factors into how well our vendors are doing. And then financial, my team is also responsible for the budget, the invoicing, making sure our vendors are getting paid on time. So that's a big focus of our team as well. Here's some other ones. Of course, with As we update our network, of course, Albert's teams is constantly updating our network. So having contractors in place to manage our network and upgrade as we need. A lot of times they'll use the professional services contract. We do constantly doing software upgrades, and here we have multiple types of contracts that we ask for, and we have resellers that provide us with the latest and greatest of software, whatever that need may be. Of course, I talked about our professional services contract, where we're always looking for Microsoft operating system resources, database resources. Some of the other ones are, like, for instance, we're using Smart Sheets. Smart Sheets is a tool that allows us to collaborate and do better work management, assigning tasks and tracking our projects, managing calendars, those kind of things. NetMotion is a contract that we use that we actually, because our field people are so distributed, we've got to make sure that they have a secure connection to our offices to make sure they can get access to that data that they need. I talked about it earlier. I talked about My Account. Of course, with My Account, one of the things that we do is we allow payment processing. So FIS Global allows us to actually have those secure payments across our network. And then Aclara is a contract that we use to actually look at to display the usage. So customers now are very, very excited about understanding what their usage is, and being able to provide them with trends and information about their usage, about their energy. I think there was a time where when you talk about the utility or the energy industry, it was pretty boring. But with things like all the information that we have now with data, utility data, smart meter data, we're providing that information now. Customers can actually act on that information. So it's becoming a very, very attractive industry now. So this page here is really just talked about, if you want to get more information about our current procurement opportunities, we have more. This was just a snapshot of some of the opportunities that we have in the IS division, as well as just an overview of kind of what we do. Please go to mlgw.com/bids. And if you have an account, you can easily log on here, kind of see what's out there. Or if you want to create a new one, you can create a new one as well. And that's really the end of the presentation. If we have any questions, you guys can ask them now. We have the staff here from our information services division. So we have a wide variety of people here that can answer any questions that you guys may have.
Hey, Darren, this is Lachelle. I just wanted to thank them for coming to this breakout session. I recognize some of the names that I see in the group. And so thank you guys for coming. I'd love to hear back from you whether or not the business that you are doing with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I am Lachelle Vaughn, Vice President and CIO. If it's meeting the mark with what's needed to, one, help you grow your business, two, get you exposure and experience in this utility space. I know it's supposed to be dull and boring and flip the switch and the light comes on. And so we're very thankful for the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water entire team for making that happen. But as Darren pointed out, and as you've heard, so much excitement this week about what's coming just right up the street with the Ford industry, electric vehicles. Whenever we hear the word electric, it makes us exciting because that is the space where we live. But from a technology stance, what is it that we might do differently to help you as you are growing your business?
Lachelle, this is Slim from Unistar Sparkle.
Hey
Thanks
there.
for the presentation. Great presentation today, and Darren's presentation. So we are IT company here in Millington, well, still in Shelby County. For years, we are trying to do a lot of services for MLGW. Like we have our specialty certification in Wi-Fi design, assessment, Wi-Fi hotspots, networking, and a lot of different support services. But everything that we have done for MLGW in the last 15 years, they were just selling like software renewal or hardware, maybe like a piece of hardware here, a piece of hardware there. So the only chance that we have was responding to bid. So we see the bid come out and then we respond to the bid. And it was usually just software renewal or maybe just a piece of hardware. We're trying to do some services and we have all the staff doing it. So how can we maybe meet with MLGW and talk about our capability?
Hey, Susan, I think one of the main things that we can do is perhaps bring this a little bit closer to home from an IT perspective, perhaps even starting with you, our current vendor suppliers who we know, and have you just come in and talk with us about things that we do in the life cycle in which we do them. Our 7 support vendors, we go out every 5 years, Darren? We've done so. I think this is the 4th cycle of that. But just have you understand the cycle, because once we've partnered with those vendors, then we're sort of there. You know, one could fall out. If something was to happen, our type of business that we do does come in cycles. Darren mentioned a project that we did, the smart meters. You know, we've cut our teeth on that large project. Going back, it'll be in a maintenance mode. Our Oracle EBS solution that we finished out back in 2017, we're adding components to it, but the large portion of it, our customer information system, it's got some age on it. We will be replacing it. So maybe what we can do is take our partners that are there doing business and bring you in closer so that you can understand our cycle.
Okay.
And also, if I can add, if you reach out to Tamara Pate, she has what they call customer opportunity meetings. And through her group, she will, you know, bring in the right user areas if you wanted to present, talk to us. But we normally will kind of work through her customer opportunity meetings. But definitely reach out to Tamara or Tiffany that works in the supplier diversity area.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And yes, Darren, I absolutely agree with that. Tamara has just been a super partner in making sure that the community knows what we do and bringing those partners when it's time to have, you know, those next level discussions so that they understand. And of course, we welcome that. So thanks for reminding all of us, you know, that we've got a department really that's been set aside, a resource in Tamara. And so this session has been excellent for me, just listening to those suppliers as they were talking about their business and their work. The panel discussion was just awesome.
Right. Great. Any other questions on the panel or from the attendees? As Lachelle mentioned earlier, there are lots of things that are happening around us from the utility industry. Of course, you know, she talked about Ford bringing their largest manufacturing facility right up the road. So, you know, definitely you'll probably see a lot of electric vehicles. And, you know, a lot of times we talk about electric vehicle, I get excited about that because one of the things I do is do a lot of emerging research on emerging technologies, and electric vehicles is one of those things that we're definitely looking at. But there's, you know, there definitely could be an impact on MLGW, on our customers, on our load, so we've got to make sure that we plan for that influx of those electric vehicles, because there are a lot of companies that are definitely coming out with those electric vehicles that we definitely need to be prepared for. Almost kind of see MLGW as the gas station of the future, you know, or the electric pump of the future. So it's definitely going to be some innovation or some definite changes in the future. But that's all I have. It's about 11:50 now.
Darren, can you hear me? It's Beverly Mulligan.
Hey, Beverly, how you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to kind of talk to Mr. Lim and tell him that we had worked with MLGW. We are on the professional services contract. and we had worked with MLGW as a minority partner for years before that. And we were able to get in and show the benefit that we added. And then when the professional services contract came out, we primed it and were selected. So it's been a great opportunity. This is the first, I guess we're going into the 4th year of this, and it's been a wonderful opportunity. And we appreciate the payment schedules, everything that Darren, you and your team, and Tamara especially, helps do. I did also want to say, are you in that Real Men Wear Pink for breast cancer?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I support that as well. But I just really appreciate MLGW, and don't give up, Mr. Lim.
Great. Yeah, we'll definitely have him set up and
Thank you.
get one of those customer opportunity meetings, and he can meet with the different teams and talk about your business and the type of services that you provide. I think will be really good. But thanks for that support, Beverly. We've seen her company go from a subcontractor role with our professional services, and now she's one of the major 7 vendors that we utilize. So we like to grow our subcontractors and grow and make sure that they actually one day become that prime. So she's definitely a prime example of that.
Hey, Darren, this is Doug. So is there, if it's permissible, might want to see if we can set up a meeting with you and Nathan as the professional services guides, but also Albert and I to have a conversation with Mr. Lim on what he does provide and how he can become either a sub or prime in the professional services offerings.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Darren, one other thing I would suggest for the suppliers that are on is, as you talk about MLGW, the gas company of the future, we're also listening and for our partners who are working with us and who begin to understand our business to help us be on the lookout for what's really coming to our market, to our industry, positioning yourself in that manner. Nathan and Darren have done a yeoman's job of researching this thing called blockchain. Obviously, it's a real common term now, but how does that impact our business space, and what might we be preparing ourselves, positioning ourselves along with you for this blockchain, and what does it mean for the utility industry? So just as partners with us, you're an extension of us as you are doing business with us. And so we're looking and listening for you to bring us that addition of value for our industry. So we're looking and you're looking, and that's how we're partnering.
Great point. Great point. All right. Anyone else from MLGW? Anybody have anything want to speak on? You muted, Lachelle. Okay.
Yeah, Arnisa, what about this utility network? I sat in on a conference yesterday, and I'll tell our business partners, a lot of these companies are now doing virtual conferences, and it's free, very informative. So I was listening, SSP was doing Illuminate monthly session, but talking about the utility network and how and what's coming with it as you think about the GIS market. We know that all of this turn by turn and address finding and asset finding is driven by the dot, which rules the world, period. Arnisa, you want to speak about that a little bit?
Yes, I can. Yes, we do have some upcoming projects, probably coming up even in 2022, where right now in our GIS, we are using the Esri software, ESRI. GIS is our platform that we're utilizing. And the current, I guess what we call our network model is geometric network, and we will be moving that to what they're calling the utility network. So it is a software that we're utilizing for our GIS, our crews, our electric, gas, water crews utilize this software to know the location of where our valves are, our pipes are, our our poles, our street lights, all of that asset infrastructure that we have there. But it also is not just a picture. It does kind of model how the gas flow, how things flow in the real world. If I have a gas leak, what valves do I need to locate, and what valves do I need to shut off so that gas won't keep leaking and we won't have an explosion. So in order for that network to flow correctly for our crews, we have to create what we call a network model, which is right now is geometric network. It'll be moving to the utility network, and that's a big project to take our data. We've been doing GIS over 30 years, so it's taking that legacy data and that new data and moving it to this new technology or new model. And so we will be trying to hire software vendors or companies to analyze our data, maybe do some data cleanup, get our data, into this new data model. So it'll be for the next few years, we'll be working on this. I know next year we're going to do an RFP. It'll go out for the analysis part of it. And then the years after that, we'll be trying to get a vendor to take us, upgrade us to that network model. So a lot of custom code that we do develop in what we call C#.net is our programming language. So we do hire professional services or contractors that know that language, that know the model or know the Esri software. There may be other things that our company is wanting us to do. Maybe we got some data that's not in our GIS system and they want to hire some people to go out there and capture the GPS coordinates of where is this pole located or where is this street light located, or document all that information for us to get it into our GIS. So that's kind of our GIS is always growing and getting more information. Like Michelle say, the data is important. It's ruling the world. We got to know where our infrastructure and our assets are located, but not just the picture. We got to know the information behind it. How tall is that pole? How long has it been out there? Or, is this valve manufacturing name or date, or is there a recall on that particular asset? So those are some things that we try to track in our GIS, as well as when we have a storm or a freeze, like our water, pipes freezing and bursting. We had the storm that came back in February. That GIS was ruling the world because we had to kind of know where those pipes were and how to get them fixed, and so our customers didn't have to boil their water, and make sure our water is safe. So that information really helped. So those are some of the things that's coming up in the GIS space.
Great. So our Anissa's team is one of those teams that's making the utility industry a little bit more attractive. So she's doing a lot with just, as we start digitizing a lot of our data, poll records and streetlight information. We're now beginning to digitize that, and now we're taking applications and setting on top of that and actually making that information actionable now. So that
and I would think with the Ford company coming in and 40 miles down the street, we're gonna have to know where those electric charging stations are. So usually we're gonna have to probably put a point on the map. Maybe there's some different types, so there's some different information about the charging stations, and some people are gonna want to know, where are they? How close are they to me? Is it a quick charge? Is it I got to sit there for many hours? So there's probably a lot of information that the GIS can provide there. So I think we need to be thinking in that space as well for the future, is how do we get that information mapped out?
Right. Okay.
Anisha, I think there's a apps already out there called PlugShare. The PlugShare, I think that's one of the most widely used map on all the charging station out there, and which one is down, which one is up. Yeah, I've been using that apps for like the last 4 years. Love it. I can see all the charging station in Memphis area.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing for that, we'll know from the customer side, we want to know where they are. But from the utility side, I'm sure we got to feed that electric charging station somehow. So we got to know whether we have the right wires or, you know, cabling or infrastructure so that they can consume electricity. So I think we have to have that from the internal side. We're probably going to have to map something of how those charging stations are getting fed. And if they're down, why are they down? Did somebody cut something or knock down something that feeds that? So that's kind of also, we have to think on both sides, from the customer side as well as from the infrastructure side, to keep those charging stations up and running.
Good point.
Yeah.
Great. All right, well, it's right at 12. Any more questions or comments? Great feedback.
Hey, Darren, it can't be 12. We're just getting started.
Yeah, I guess time flies when you got some interesting information to talk about. So, like I say, this stuff is getting attractive now, right?
It is very attractive, and I'll tell you, before Darren takes us back to the main room, is you know, keep in mind this whole thing with cloud, you know, hybrid cloud. What's happening there? We're a government. We have to be in a government assurance position. Doug Duncan is on, and he's our data security officer. And let me tell you, if it's not secure, I don't care what anyone says, we're not going there. But we know that at the end of the day, this thing that IBM started many years ago called the mainframe, we're literally circling back. So if you've been in this space any amount of time, you go, didn't I see that before? And so we're listening and looking for you to help understand that space as well. What does that mean to us when we start to talk about the cloud and hybrid cloud? And I'm halfway to the cloud because I'm sitting in my data center, and what technology should I be acquiring? The space is so broad, it's just mind-boggling. And so we have a practice of augmentation of our staff so that we get the flexibility. One, we have the core base for supporting our day-to-day operation with a little bit, but then we augment, and that is where you come in with your knowledge and your resources to help us extend our capacity. So I appreciate you coming to this breakout session, Darren, for you hosting. Always very exciting.
Great. Well, thanks a bunch, everybody. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. We'll be hopefully talking to you soon, okay? All right.
Thanks, Darren.